G'day viewers, how's it going? Good
G'day
to be back.
G'day viewers, how you going? G'day, thank you so much for having me back.
Yep, and we thought it'd be time for an update because stuff's happened. Look, he's been in a couple of videos. We haven't done an update because, well, events were a little traumatic. We needed a bit of distance.
We need a little bit of distance.
So I've settled down. We're in the kitchen planning stuff beforehand. I've made a cocktail.
I noticed that some of our addictions are okay.
Society sanctions me.
I know.
Just by the by, this is French tarragon infused vodka.
It's really nice.
With an Italian blood orange liqueur and some fresh lemon juice. And we wanted to, we need to name this, of course, with the blood orange and the tarragon, and going with all blood tarragon, bloody tarragon. And we thought that sounded like a pirate's name, really. So we want to call this the Curse of the Bloody Tarragon. I tell you the Curse of the Bloody Tarragon. 6 of these, you'll know what I'm talking about.
You'll see it be the power of my mind.
But while I ease back with my cocktail, tell us, AIDzee, what's been happening in AIDzee world?
Oh, mate, let me tell you. Right, it's not all beer and skittles in recovery land. It's not all easy does it, folks, because basically I've been going through a lot of anxiety issues, right? These first occurred when I first got busted. In hospital, I was invited to join the program. Isn't that a nice way to put it?
Invited.
I had half my teeth missing. They just chopped them out and they said, "Oh, look, you've had an opioid withdrawal shock. We're not going to give you any more pain relief unless you join the program."
Yeah, because you're clearly on the gear.
Or clearly off the bloody gear.
Yeah,
that
which was the
issue.
big problem. You know, and this
I
is
expected only to be in there 5 days, and that was going to be fine. I was there for 1.5 months, and about 3 weeks in, I had a seizure. Whoops-a-days. And they said, "We've seen this before." And so they said, "Oh, you can join the program." So I went, "Righto." And so I did. And then there was a few things that were good. And there was lots of stuff that was bad. And one of the... I can basically say that the program is a one-size-fits-all approach to addiction issues, which is fair enough. And it's got to be. This is a public health thing. And in the vast majority of cases, the people that it reaches, he said burping, the people that it reaches in a situation where it's tailored to meet their needs, and that's completely fair enough. This is completely fair enough. It's not going to fit everyone. It can't fit everyone perfectly. And so what tends to happen is the people who it don't fit tend to modify their own ways in order to fit the program. And that's fine. And I myself have done a lot of modification to fit the program. Except there are even some places that I will not go. And as a result, it's not worked beautifully for me. There's been, along the way, whatever it was, we don't know. But what jumped out of the box when the opioids went away was that I got a lot of anxiety jump up from out of the cellar. We went through a lot of the behavioural stuff to make sure that I wasn't bringing this on myself, to make sure that I wasn't acting in such a way that would make this happen. And also, too, you've got to give it time to kick in. I mean, you've got to give yourself 2-3 months to settle down. Your brain chemistry has to change. Your emotional centres have to change. If you think about your emotions like a feedback loop, and if you think about opioids being a big damper on that, your body gets used to, say, a level 4 emotion. And if you're perfectly sober and straight, It'll give you a level 4 chemical hit to get a level 4 emotion. If you're damping everything down with opioids all the time, you're going to have to need a level 8 chemical hit to get a level 4 emotion. And it gets that feedback going and it understands your body. So you take those opioids away and you watch a movie and burst into tears. Yeah. Normal things will be very emotionally very distressing once you've been off the gear for a little while. Now, for me, that's not actually such a big issue. I can handle that. I don't mind being terribly emotional. That's fine. It's actually where most of our junkwire friends fall off the boat. They can't handle the emotional bit. But the emotional bit's not such a problem. And so once all that settled down, then we turned our attention to the anxiety. And we watched behaviour very carefully, and we watched the situations very carefully. And we discovered, to our dismay a little bit, that it was actually chemical in nature, as in it jumps on me from out of the blue. And it was definitely being masked by the opioids. But you take those opioids away and all of a sudden, boom, you're in trouble. It's quite debilitating, anxiety. It'll actually shut you down really very effectively. It's important to take on any situation with as much positivity as you can muster. But when your brain makes you feel like you're drowning, you're going to end up in the corner of the room in a little ball.
Yeah. And also, slight side note, but this really brings to the fore one of the big lies about people who are on the Aspie autism spectrum. The stereotype is people who have Asperger's or people who are autistic don't have emotions. They're emotionless robots. Sometimes have much stronger emotions than everyone else. It's just sometimes they come out in a different way and from a different trigger. So the idea of someone like AIDzee who's Aspie not having emotion is bollocks. And in fact can be so fucking wrong. And as you say, the big trick was if you've tamped these things down with the old self-medication and then that gets taken away, it's come bursting out the gate comes Mr. Emotion!
Hey!
So, yeah, and with anxiety and the physically debilitating effects. So, we're trying not to be downers, but we are essentially talking about the sad reality of this world we live in is sometimes the system doesn't work for you as an individual or maybe for a group of people. This is not to damn the system to hell, although I've heard him say...
Like, this has been the biggest mistake of my life. Quite.
And I've heard him say, let's go to a random hospital and punch doctors because I hate those cunts.
Well, I did that maybe 4 times over a long period of time. It wasn't an everyday occurrence. It was just a thing that happened.
It's the thing, like, when you get these ideas, you know... steps have to be taken.
I
because
know.
As tempting as it is for the,
black plastic bags and a passport, let's go! Let's go!
So
find a doctor! There's an intern!
We're at this, well, would you say we're at the soldiering on stage at the moment? How are you feeling at the moment?
We're definitely at the soldiering on stage right now. We're in a new, we're in a period of up and down success with the program per se, with modifications that I've built in. It's winter time here in Australia right now, and winter time is very problematic for me because this whole crazy roller coaster ride started with me getting rheumatoid arthritis, and wintertime is kind of tricky for your arthritic because it really hurts. Yeah. So I haven't been a priest on this in the sense that I haven't maintained a totally drug-free existence.
He doesn't touch this stuff. Oh, he had a taste and it was tasty.
It's lovely.
But he is aware of this with other things is a bad idea for him.
And I'm also on other medication that you wouldn't drink with.
Yeah. So it's not like he's a complete idiot. It's just that...
I'll have you know that
No.
I've got my complete idiot ticket and I've done the training. Would you like to see my cock?
Yeah, well, I'm just saying it's not complete. It's just like, you know, you're well versed in the ways of the idiot.
I do have to do the link course.
Yeah, you know. And while there's no such thing as a perfect idiot, AIDzee strives for perfection in all things.
I do, really.
Talk to his boyfriend.
Aye.
Now we've made you think of him having sex.
Aye.
And if you're fine with that, I have sex too. So, you know, fucking sleep on that, kids. Old people have sex!
I'm not old.
What? No, we're not, okay?
No.
Fuck all you fucking teen 20 fuckers. I love you. I love you.
You're only as old as
How many
the
of
boy you
these
feel.
have I had?
Yeah, they're good. They're very good. I've
So-
only had a sip and I'm feeling great.
Yeah.
But then I'm on drugs, so don't worry
Yeah.
about
Incidentally, I'm now going to put my alcohol recipes on my second channel, Less Angry Aussie. I think because I haven't been using it, and I feel bad that I set up a channel I don't use. So I'm going to put more experimental stuff and maybe some more personal stuff on the second channel, and there's a link down there. So keep this channel slightly more for the angry stuff. The Angry and AIDzee show, the me just being angry, anyone guest stars wanting to be angry, like young Amy, the aggro pixie who guest starred recently, and
it. She's an angry young lady.
she's a fucking baker, man. We probably said this and thing, like she's tiny. And she's got guns, man, because she lifts shit
Like
and mixes
big bags
shit
of flour.
all day. And because she's little, I think people occasionally try to take advantage.
Don't do that.
She fucks their shit up.
She's just like really full on.
Fucking love it. You just love someone who'll just go, and because she does like Krav Maga or something as well. And it's just like, and she has got scary strong arms, and she's...
What was this guy on the floor? Pissed off Amy
yeah.
again. Oh, cool.
She's just a bundle of awesome. So yeah, and because I'm always open. Hey, look, Melbourne people come to our meetups and we'll do videos. That's always good. So we're gonna soldier on. See, I'm letting this go because I thought we haven't done a really long video for a while. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day about video length. There was an interesting article. This has now officially become a free range rambling video because we are honestly fairly disciplined.
That's real, actually.
Yeah.
That's real.
We plan this shit and we have a theme and we have talking points and we stick to it. And I was going to just have this be talking points about
Is that a
AIDzee.
joke or is it offensive?
Yeah.
Is it offensive and a joke? Is
Yeah.
that just offensive? Well, okay,
Yeah.
if it's just offensive, it can go in. But if it's
Yeah.
just a joke, then maybe we've got to think about it.
Yeah. So we are going to be doing more stuff in the future. See, I've had one too many of these because I started a sentence and it got away from me.
And it does.
Yeah. That's right. I read an interesting article this week, and it was someone trying to work out from the outside how the YouTube algorithm works. And because that's a mysterious black box. But this was someone who worked on a big channel that did lots of videos, got lots of views, so they had a very big statistical base to work from.
Nice.
So they could do some analysis and draw some conclusions. And I shared this with some of my friends with a big asterisk saying, this is conjecture, it's not fact, but they got a reasonable statistical base to come from. And they came away with a few takeaways. And one was, longer videos are actually good. If you've been, see, I'm not even editing out burps now because it's that type of video.
But I'm going to be modest and not smell it.
Yeah. We've told this story before, but now I want to tell it again. Way back, because we've been making the videos together for about 5 or 6 years now. And
True.
Way back in the early days, we did a road trip to Canberra to see your folks.
Yeah.
And this was, we hadn't been hanging out. We did a uni course together 20 years ago. It was 30 years ago, but I'm going to say 20 because 30's scary.
30's not a real number.
No. It was 20 years ago.
20?
In the 90s.
Fuck, I thought it was yesterday.
No, I know, right? And then we didn't see each other for ages. Then we met each other at the comedy festival. We hung out a bit, and then we started doing the videos. In the relatively early days of us hanging out, when I didn't know the full scale of all the effects rheumatoid arthritis had on AIDzee, one was an extreme sensitivity to smell, and you particularly can't eat garlic and all these things. I had made myself travel snacks that were really yummy, but they were these wraps, and they had cheese, and they had pesto that had a lot of garlic in it. And it was really yummy. And so I'm driving away going, no, 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 no. And this was in winter, right? So the windows were wound up.
It's freezing out there. It's like -3 out there.
I just realised, kids, I said the windows were wound up. And kids are going, what's that mean? The windows were
wound up, yeah.
And, you know, and being lads in the car... We don't care about social niceties because we didn't have any Sheilas in the car.
There were no trailers.
Hey. So I let rip with this massive burp, and it was pretty stupendous. And it was stinky stuff, and it literally almost killed him.
Please stop the car. I'm going to be sick.
First, in this -3 degree Canberra wind, he stuck his head out the window at 100 kilometres an hour. And I went, "You're serious, aren't you?"
Yes.
And then that was one of our first revelations of bad smells hurt AIDzee.
And they really do. I'm a very sensitive petal.
So that was a learning experience. We have learning experience, and all that one. What did I have? I know I just had a burger for lunch. That wasn't even a particularly garlicky one. That
wasn't
just
a particularly garlicky one.
No, you were lucky.
Could
have had like a kebab with garlic sauce. I was nearly had a kebab with garlic sauce for lunch. So
I did actually spew on a guy once. He burped in my face, and I'm like, bah! Straight on.
The ultimate revenge.
And we were both standing there, going, which one says sorry?
Yeah, because there was a trigger as effect, cause and effect. Yeah. Or, because your other revenge is just to tell people in detail what happened to you so they faint.
I know.
Yeah.
It happens.
So, yeah. So, we've gone on an official ramble. You want to say something?
Eventually. I was going to basically say, because it's winter time, I haven't stayed completely drug-free. Relatively, I've been definitely very disciplined, but and off more than on.
Yeah. Like if you ever watch the Code Grey show that we've got on another channel, he talks about when he was very, very, very bad, and I was witness to this as well. When you ever hear the stories about Nurofen Plus being subject to extreme limitations in Australia.
Oh, that was me.
That was him. It wasn't. They talk about, certain abusers were doing this, and 70% of the world's fucking consumption was in Australia. It was almost all him.
That's
when they used to sell it in packs of 72.
Oh, the day.
And he would just down the But yes, he's much more and like I said, he's more disciplined. He doesn't mix the alcohol with medication prescribed or otherwise. So he's pretty fucking responsible. Because you did have a drink in one of our videos a while back, and some people were quite down on that. Like, you were meant to be on the wagon. I went, he's on the wagon for drugs, not alcohol.
Not the wagon that I'm on.
But he does manage now, and he basically does very rarely drink the alcohol. So it's...
I was drinking the alcohol. There's a couple of things that they put you on straight away when you're getting off the drugs. They stick you on the methadone, and if you're very bad, they stick you on a thing called Suboxone, which is a blocker. It blocks the effect of opioid drugs in your system. So they put me straight on the Suboxone. Whoops. I had health professionals ask me, what did you do to go straight onto that? And I went, it's a bit like this, chemistry said. So then they... the thing with that particular blocker is that it will, as advertised, block your receptivity to opioids. It's very good to get it off. It was invented by the Israeli army. I wonder if there's and they keep on saying there's no punishment aspect to it.
Righto. No, there is a bit of punishment in there.
And effectively, your body, when you pay attention to something or you see something, you get a tiny little shot of adrenaline. Tiny little. You don't even notice. You don't notice that your heart rate's gone up or anything. It's just a pay attention shot. This happens maybe 40, 50 times a day. You don't notice it because your body is very good at mopping up adrenaline that's only tiny little amounts. Now, when you're on the Suboxone, your body stops mopping up adrenaline because that's part of the endorphin feedback loop, which is blocked completely. And you basically get into a situation where you have these little shots of adrenaline all day, and by sunset, you're so tense that you're ready to chew glass. It affects people differently. Some people it affects more than others. With me, it was very bad. Other people tolerate it really well, and a lot of people will say Suboxone's like an amazing thing and got them off the drugs, and that it's a brilliant thing. For me, not so hot. And I was having to drown a couple of triple shots of scotch every night, basically just to calm down enough to cope with the rest of the evening. And I basically went to my healthcare professionals and said, "This is fucking bullshit. I'm getting rid of one drug to take on another one. This is not ideal." And the other thing is, a Suboxone wall can be breached if you climb high enough. Again,
and the challenge is there.
Not the ideal, not what you want. But the thing that really made me, push for a change was I said to these people, what happens if I have an accident? Say I get run down in a pedestrian crossing. Yeah. What happens? And they said, oh, well, you get taken off to hospital. Good. And I've got a broken limbs. Yeah. What happens next? Oh, we do painkillers. What painkillers will you use? Opioids. But I'm on Suboxone, so that'll be blocked. Oh, it can be flushed out of your system. Can be flushed out of your system. Tell me, how is that done? Is that a injection? Is that a tablet? And no, that's time, my friends. That's time. And so for the first 3 days, nothing that they're injecting into you works. And I was just going, I might die of shock before I get treated, mightn't I? Oh no, I mean that's only happened on very rare occasions. I'm going, okay.
This is the man who's actually had several 1 in a million things happen.
Very rare diseases. And and I'm
you don't want to be said, it's rare, it won't happen. Rare is what I do, motherfuckers.
Rare is a thing that I have.
Yeah.
I'm going, no. And I was very bothered by the fact that there was a cavalier attitude about safety. Also, too, I found out that security around this stuff is actually tighter than around the methadone, because what happens is you get people in the Jonquois community who will actually inject this shit into themselves, and apparently the high is pretty spectacular, but it can kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fucking hell. You'd have to be desperate, but then,
desperate people.
Desperate people do desperate things. And so I just went, no, I want out of that. And I got put on to methadone, which is its own very special grade of different. And I can see why the systems are the way they are, right? I mean, you've got, in the main, you've got a large group of overly entitled dickheads who've basically opted out of societal norms to pander to their own needs. And the rules don't apply to them. One of the most irritating things that happens when you're dosing on methadone is you'll be standing there, and then often there'll be a lineup. That happens. 2 or 3 of you in the shop, and you're not to talk to anyone, and you're not to bother anyone, and you should go in the corner and basically make like you've disappeared, because you're a customer, and you'll get some fucking idiot who will stand up there and then yell at the pharmacist, "Oi, it's fucking, when's he going to get a fucking dose?" Right? Which guarantees that there's now going to be a 25-minute delay. Guaranteed. And, if anyone in the line has any brains at all, they go, "Oh, okay." And I have actually seen a couple of my compatriots drag a guy outside to have a word with him, and then drag him back inside, and he was very chastened indeed. I don't know what they said to him. I don't know if there was much said.
Yeah. Non-verbal communication can be very powerful.
But it was very effective. He was very quiet and very chastened, and he took his dose and left immediately. There's a lot of rudeness, and part of the reason we're doing this update with us two here is that I want to also point out that you live in a society. You're not on your own. And every time I do these things, I burn capital. When you do anything in life, you're burning capital to either make an investment or just burning it up. So every time I melt down, okay, I am burning capital with my boyfriend who has to cope. I'm burning capital with my boss who rings up and says, "You come to work?" And I go, "No." Or I say, "I really want to come to work." And he says, "You sound like a fucking mess." And I go, "Oh, a little bit am." "Well, you're not coming." "Oh, okay." Sometimes I get to work and he says, "You are going home." Oh, and because I like doing videos, I like working. Fun and stuff. But every now and again, I'm clearly a jittery mess and can't do it. So I'm burning capital by doing that. I'm burning social capital when I go into the pharmacy, and I'm not as bright and chipper as I like to be. That is wearing on them. And if you break your societal rules, you've got to be ready for the consequences. Now, I know that I break a lot of rules, but I can stand up to the consequences of that. I'm ready for what comes. I know what's coming, and I'm ready for that. I'm ready to either make it up to the people I've annoyed, hurt, shot, injured, or I'm ready to take the chastising that comes from that. I can take the punishment that comes with that. And I think that a lot of this recovery from addiction gear would be better off actually directly going to the consequential realities of what these people are doing, instead of going, you've got to learn to put yourself in a better place. It might actually just be better off saying, society doesn't like you being an asshole. If you can stop being an asshole, you'll be welcomed back in. If you've got something to sell, people will buy it. Scratching your name on a window in a train is just the publishing of the desperate and the sad. You know, this is not something that anyone wants. Here is a list of things that people want. It is a huge list. It is a fucking enormous list. And a smile is right up the top and the cheapest to deliver. But fucking we'll get you indoors, we'll get you in places, we'll get you fed. So don't be an asshole should probably be at the centre of this training. And then I think it'd be a better program if we did that. So things aren't going great for me. I'm having a lot of difficulty mentally. I'm having a lot of difficulty socially, and we're dealing with that on a chemical and behavioural level. But it does mean, hopefully, when winter turns a little bit and settles a little bit, because the changeable weather is the bit that really hurts you as an arthritic, that things should look up, and hopefully soon I can get my social dynamics down. I had to leave a social event lately.
To avoid punching people.
And
ability to function socially reached its limits.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers were going to get stabbed.
Oh, I've run out of cope. I better go. Damn.
And it's
I've got two.
good to be aware of that. And that's also the problem with a lot of this rudeness that happens that you're talking about. People who aren't capable of measuring that because they never learned if you behave like an asshole, you will have a bad time. And so being able to recognise, I can no longer meet this societal standard, I should withdraw. The other type of person goes, I can no longer meet this societal standard, I'm going to punch people.
Yeah, I'm going to punch people. The society needs to change for my needs. Only the strong survive is one that is very well seeded in our society, but not actually very well implemented. The strong isn't necessarily the guy who can punch on, because there's always more cops than you have complained.
They keep coming. You run out of energy to complain.
They keep coming. You know, they're the biggest gang in the state.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah.
There's more of them, and they're funded brilliantly.
Yeah.
They have a tank.
So, yeah, look, while we're highlighting system not perfect, can't cope for everyone, can't account for everyone, doesn't mean give up, okay? You find other things. I mean, yeah, like we found that before when you were in the pain program, that became rapidly evident because AIDzee has chronic pain, so go to this thing that people with chronic pain go to learn to cope with pain. It rapidly became clear that the majority of people on that just wanted enough coping to be able to sit on the lounge and watch daytime TV. That was their idea of success. Whereas AIDzee had higher goals than like even the doctors running thing. Like, yeah, this is a man who's going to take over the world. Right?
Oh, bits of it.
Yeah.
Bits of it. I don't want any of the Asian places, right? And those Africans, the big animals intimidate me. You know? Some of the little animals intimidate me. So for example, I'm going to cut out bits of the Blue Mountains where the funnel webs are. I don't want
they're not
them.
good. No. So
that'll be an autonomous zone. King AIDzee won't be in that.
Yeah.
Fucking funnel webs.
Yeah, no, they're magic. But I mean, I often see people say, either socially or online, they say things like the chemical treatment for depression or anxiety, they think is terrible. The fact is, that works brilliantly for some people.
Yeah, yeah.
Rarely in isolation. Usually it has to be with counselling as well.
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
many forms of depression, anxiety, and what are literally just a chemical imbalance in your brain. For people saying it's not a real illness, it actually is. Yeah, things are out of whack. And
it's really real.
You can apply things to it to rebalance the chemicals, and that works. Some people, they can actually promote suicidal thoughts, and you need to recognise that. So when one thing doesn't work, that doesn't mean write off the system.
No.
That means try and find, and I think we can both acknowledge that your life's probably hasn't had as many hurdles as AIDzee has, just throwing that out there, but we can probably acknowledge it's difficult. Sometimes keeping on going in the face of hurdles is fucking hard.
But
there's
you
no
can.
choice about it.
You can.
So,
you can do it. Trust
and,
me.
And look, in most cases, it's a one day at a time thing. Because whether it's a physical thing, whether it's a mental or emotional thing, and you feel trapped, it's absolutely true on that day. And if you make it through that day, then you get to kick things along for one more day. Every shitty day is shitty. There's no two ways about it. But it brings you closer to the next good day.
It absolutely does. And it also helps you to recall the fact that the actual world's not out to get you. It's not actually against you. And I know this to be real. And probably most of the people watching this, it's real for. Because you... leave you with this thought. The world has fed you, clothed you, generally put you in a house, and generally made sure that you've got video entertainment for your entire life. You've only been beaten up a few times during that time. You've only got a few diseases in that time. You've only been run over once or twice in that time. For most of the time, the world actually, and the systems therein, actually made you live in a fairly pleasant, maybe boring, but fairly pleasant existence. And so if you can parlay that into something that you can make, create and pay forward into a societal thing that wants to buy it, you can actually massively improve your situation, and you can massively improve your standard of living. I mean, shit, my life has burnt down to the ground 5 times. I've been homeless twice. And you can bounce back. You really, really can. You're probably going to get another route. you're probably going to get another job. You're probably going to be okay. So just think of all the things that worked for you and use that as a basis for your life instead of some of the shitty things that have happened, because the shitty things are only in isolation very small pieces of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the weather. The weather is a real thing that you can't control. The weather can fuck you up. The weather can make you miserable. The weather can, there can be a flood, a storm that destroys your home. The weather can destroy your life on a given day. The weather will change. On the day you're in the middle of a torrential downpour and it's been going on for 2 weeks, it's completely legitimate to feel like this shit is going to go on forever. Because at that instant, you have no fucking evidence that things are going to get better. But it does. The only thing that stops it getting better is if you give up. So we'll be back, obviously. We'll give you updates on any significant changes in AIDzee's world, and we'll do our best to provide you with some entertainment that brightens up your life. I mean, first, we like to bring a smile, and also, the people ask why you do the angry thing. I mean, we all get told we're not allowed to be angry, right? It's a bad thing to cause a scene. So that's why we're here. We do it. We do the angry outbursts and get shitty about things. Then you don't have to. You just live it through us. Come back. We'll provide you with fresh bursts of catharsis, hopefully in an entertaining manner. And I hope you've stuck with us. I mean, maybe you've been doing the housework while I've heard when we do the longer ones, people treat it like a podcast and do stuff around the house, which is awesome.
Fair enough.
That is a great thing to do.
I wash up well to Adele.
Yeah.
Cry
so,
a little bit.
Yeah, but that's Adele. You've got to. So we'll be back soon. We hope you'll be back soon. And take care, because we want you back sharing, well, whatever the hell this is we share.
A little bit of slice.
Yeah.
A slice. That's what we're sharing, a slice.
A slice. So come back for another serving sometime real soon. Bye now.
See you, bye.